wake up lonely, 'cause there of silence in the bedroom and all around. Touch me now. I close my eyes and dream away. It must have been love, but it's over now. It must have been good, but I lost it somehow. It must have been love, but it's over now. From the moment we touched till the time had run out. Made believing that we'd get there, that I'm trapped there by your heart, going in and outside, turn to water like a teardrop in a bound. It's a heart when it's dead, dream away. It must have been love, but it's over now. It was all that I wanted, now I'm leaving without. It must have been love, but it's over now. It's where the water flows. It's where the wind blows. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. It must have been love, but it's over now. It must have been good, but I lost it somehow. It must have been love, but it's over now. From the moment we touched till the time had run out. Oh, it must have been love, but it's over now. And it was all that I wanted, I'm leaving without. It must have been love, but it's over now. It's where the water flows. It's where the wind blows. It must have been love, but it's over now. It must have been love, but it's over now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's just jump straight into it, shall we? How's everyone doing? Oh, I see you didn't like my depressing choice in music. It must have been love, but it's over now. You, Mike? No? It's the same mic, it's just a little bit closer to my beautiful face. Maybe it's the beard. Maybe it's the beard that's muffling the sound or changing things. Is it bad? Bad mic, good mic? What's the story? Because obviously I don't listen to my own streams, so I'm relying on you to tell me. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Louder is good. It's bad. Okay, I can move it away a little bit. Rattling a bit. Hello? Is that any different? Better or worse? Who knows? Maybe I'll play around with it after. Mic check 1, 2. Loved it, some playlist. It was just literally Roxette, Must Have Been Love. Copyright free. So, hello everybody, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your time zone. Welcome to the greatest stream of all time. Every day Charlie nuking the chart, sadly not. I actually got stopped on the literal pico fucking top of ETH by my trade, but I actually closed it a bit earlier than that. But regardless, the trade kind of played out almost perfectly, and it was just one of those... But we have those, we live to see another day, we managed risk, we took some small losses. I've literally taken 2, maybe 3 trades since I got back for New Year's, and I've either broken even or lost them all. But sometimes that just happens, right? How's everyone doing? Are you all bullish, bearish, somewhere in between? I'll start the stream by saying this is not financial advice, this is not tax advice, this is not any form of advice, really, on the legal right. It's a bit of entertainment, a bit of lols, a bit of educational purposes only. I think that's the legal terminology that gets me out of everything. So we'll go for something like this, and see if there's a little bit of background music. Just a little bit. Not loads. Bearish, you're cold in the UK? Yeah, it's pretty fucking cold. We had someone installing a smart meter today and they turned the heating off and it was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Doesn't matter, we just adapt. The last shakeout for some week. Yeah, maybe. Hello, Fervor. Hello, everybody. I didn't actually name any names, it's very, very rude. But anyway, let's jump into things. Yeah, I'm not going to... This was the trade that I posted on Twitter, and sometimes it's just one of those, right? Literally, like, whatever that is, like... $4, which in terms of percent is 2/3 of fuck all. If the British banter, oh dear, I better be on form today then. Let this coffee kick in. Waiting for your XO scenarios play out, which is that, Adam is saying. If I say that really fast, it sounds a bit different, so I'm glad I actually got it right. Good evening, Wagon Whale, my friend. You go on and on, if you know the biscuit. One of my favourite biscuits from my childhood. Anyway. We will start off the stream with the kind of standard shout out to Destro Network for sponsoring this, which is very, very kind of them. I've given a couple of plays on this, firstly at like 30 odd cents or something, somewhere down here, 28 I think it was, when I broke out this range, and secondly down here. So if you took either of those, then you're up quite nicely, because it's had some nice rotations. Very, very good project in terms of the narrative. Launching AI agents, decentralizing everything, take a look. I wouldn't say buy right at this second, I've given 2 pretty good entries before, but yes, definitely keep an eye on like AI, Deepin, etc. So, something like this would probably be, if we get something like that, under over, that's my kind of general thought process. I don't personally like buying things when they're up massively, because there will be dips, right? That's always my kind of philosophy, even if it goes to $1. It's going to go in a kind of something like this kind of trajectory, I think. Especially with the rest of the market looking a little bit shaky. Monthly open, yearly open deviation. Yeah. I think that's the kind of point. I mean, like, if I go over to this, like, this was kind of my thought process that I posted on Twitter. And... we talked about it a lot in the Paragon group, that a lot of people are super bullish in like January, February, and I kind of get why, and I understand that process and that premise, but for me, and I've said this a few times, that like this whole consolidation really chopped people up massively, right? And this was months of consolidating, from the peak of that rotation. So if we do this, it's 240 odd days in this range, quite brutal, really. Okay, I'll get it right. There you go. 240 days in that range. That's quite a long time. And a lot of people are saying that the same thing can't happen again. And I'm not saying it would necessarily take that long, but it's just, we had a big kind of event, here to kind of push us out of this form of consolidation, which is the ETFs. And all the ETF drama, and actually getting the supposed leak, and which was here, I think, wasn't it? That was the leak, and that was the positioning into it, and then that was the actual approval, and then Trump, yes, no, yes, Trump, run, Like, what's going to be the next thing? I mean, for me, it's the whole strategic Bitcoin reserve thing, which is the next big narrative, I believe, in terms of what's going to leg us up from, 100k-ish, or the 90s, to, 120, 150, whatever, somewhere up here, right? The next big leg of the market. And if we look at things like slightly differently, and we just think, well, okay, how much has it appreciated by in terms of like this range to the high, let's call it 2.5x for ease. Let's call this one from the range high to the high, kind of 50%. Even if you get something like that, which is, a kind of strategic Bitcoin reserve type move, you have to ask yourself the question, are these diminishing in terms of returns? So would it be something like 40% or something like that, which is like here, still at 150k-ish, which would be nice? Or is it actually probably something more like just the last move that we had, which is that kind of 50%? I mean, I don't see why it couldn't go to like 150k or something on a similar kind of consolidation for a while, and a move up. Now, that's kind of my thought process. That's why when I sold a lot of spot, I kind of rebought a few Bitcoin because I was like, nah, I want some exposure to Bitcoin in particular. And the reason for that is largely that if you look at, it's probably not as good as it was in terms of the example, but lately the rotations have just been pretty weak. And when they've occurred, so when we've actually had some volatility, Bitcoin's outperformed like most alts for periods, like longer periods of time. And the rotations haven't been great, right? You get a good run off the lows, but then after that, hardly anything has really outperformed BTC, and alts have just died, while Bitcoin hasn't really done much, right? And then as soon as Bitcoin does actually die, alts have just got absolutely obliterated. And one of the screens I like looking at is this, to kind of see how it's working, like on a very simple candlestick basis. So, this is a strong move, right? You have a strong sell-off into a strong recovery, which is nice. So maybe we actually get a rotation live on stream, which is classic, because I've been looking at this shit all day, trying to get a trade out of it and failing, to be honest with you. The only trades I took, I longed Bonk and Pepe, literally somewhere down here, thinking that move there, and then I closed it as it started coming back down. Or maybe it was that move. What time was it? 3:30. I think it was about 3:30. I think it was this move. So I longed here, sold here, and exactly the same with Pepe. And the rationale was really simple. Strong sell-off. Starting to form some divergences down here. Starting to see actually that kind of strength in the candles, and it's not just a completely vertical drop. And then when we couldn't start pushing above and mean reverting, it was just like, fuck this, I'm out. So yeah, that was bonk. But again, not really an awful lot to comment on, because the market's just pretty weak. So balls deep longing everything is just not working out particularly wonderfully. Mic dropping out for anyone else? Oh no, don't tell me that. I paid like $500 for this piece of shit. Right, let's try dropping it a little bit in terms of volume. How's that? Is that a bit better? No, it is okay. Mic's good. Cool. Do you see 100k as a lower high structurally? I mean, it is lower high structurally, right? It's a really good question. It doesn't matter like what I fucking say. Like, I can't really argue with a chart, can I? Right? Is that a parabolic run? Kind of. Is that a lower high? Yes. Is that my favourite short setup? Yes. Do I want to remain obnoxiously bullish because I didn't take the short up here, even though I had a plan to take the short? Did I just delete it? Probably did, didn't I? Was it on this one? On this Bitcoin? Yeah, so you can kind of see that vague... Well, it's not even good squiggles, is it? That. But it went a little bit further than I anticipated, and that was exactly the same premise on ETH. And the reason I took the ETH trade and not the Bitcoin one was because there was this really nice divergence going across the highs. What was it? Looks slightly different. Maybe it was like 3 hour or something. I thought it was 4 hour. I don't know. Maybe I'm retarded. Yeah, it was off those. It was technically off those highs there. That's why I entered there. And then when it blasted up, that was when I closed it up here somewhere. But the thought process was pretty reasonable. I mean, now we're at an extreme, right? And typically, like, we either continue selling off massively, or like back here, it's kind of like this should be the lows, right? And we are coming into previous consolidation here. But again, the market is super fucking weak at the moment. He says, as there's a tiny bit of recovery, but yeah, it's not great. Fine for you, seems okay for you. Good. Excellent. So back to your point on Bitcoin. Structurally, yes, it's an absolute lower high. There's kind of nothing you can do about that subjectively. It is what it is. It's also, like I said, my favorite short setup. The reason I took ETH was because ETH had the divergence and Bitcoin didn't. And Bitcoin there wasn't too bad in terms of reclaiming levels, etc., pushing up against this kind of resistance. And for me, it was more of a, do I want to play the breakout of it and go long, or do I want to play the breakout, failure, and retest? And I decided to play neither of them because there wasn't a signal up here, and the breakout wasn't particularly great. But ETH had a very clear short signal, even though it didn't play out, right? So yeah, for now, like the trade zones for me on BTC are really fucking simple. It's here and here, and any diddling around here, I'm just not interested in. What's the fucking point? Like, I've got no interest in trying to like build a massive Bitcoin spot position unless we had like a literal huge sell-off and like instant reclaim, like some huge form of news event that just meant our sailors just sold 1,000 Bitcoin or something. I don't know what would cause a big kind of news event or the timing of such a thing, but yeah, I'm not super worried about the high time frame trend. Like in 6 to 12 months time, I think I'll be able to sell Bitcoin for more. But in terms of like low time frame trading, it's really difficult at the moment for me anyway, who relies on some form of alt strength or some form of alt narrative. Let's cut the sugarcoating. Bitcoin sub 100k is ultra bearish. I don't think it's ultra bearish, man. I think Bitcoin sub 90k is ultra bearish. I don't see like this range being particularly horrific for Bitcoin as a whole, and in terms of like high time frame structure, right? But if you're talking about like trading the next week or 2 weeks, yeah, I agree with you. But if you're talking about high time frame trend and like 6 months to a year, I'm not sure I agree. I think if it loses like 90k and comes down here, then that's when you start getting into the conversations about is it going to come down to 72. But as long as it's up here, I'm not particularly worried personally. Lucifer trolling boomer? Well, that's fine. I'm going to treat it as just a question. I mean, his name is Lucifer. I had an argument with God and Satan today on Twitter, just as a random aside. I woke up this morning and posted something about AI agents, and God and Satan started having an argument in my comments. I might screenshot it, actually. It's fucking weird. I don't know if they're bots or they're actual people. Or, they are the rules of a universe. One of the three is true. I'm not sure which one. What are my thoughts on Bert? Bert's shit the bed. Like, pretty much every fucking meme, mate. There's just no, there seems to just be zero risk on. I will load up the Bert chart, though, because I've shut the fuck out of it, so I feel pseudo-responsible for its performance, even though, obviously, it's not. Or even though I'm not. Yeah. I mean, it's just sat in this shitty little range, and it needs to do something. But the vast majority of shitcoins, I mean, Peanuts just died a fucking death. We caught the Coinbase, the Robinhood listing on Robinhood. That was on, what about? Robinhood listing on Robinhood, good one. The Peanut listing on Robinhood here, and then that was that's been it for it. But Pepe, shitting the bed. Dogecoin, shitting the bed. Fwog absolutely fwogged itself. It is fwocked, for lack of a better word. So yeah, asset selection not great in terms of meme coins generally. Just dying, but it's not like it's a unique event across the market, right? Memes in general are de-risking massively. So many coins are just like down horrifically. Too much shit dilution? Yeah, I agree with you. And there is so much dilution at the moment that that dilution causes a problem, but it's always been a problem, right? It's been a problem this entire cycle. So it's not necessarily dilution is a bad thing, but it's not necessarily something that can't be overcome by just people's attitude of, well, I don't want to sell anything because it's a bull market, baby, and everything's going up. And if you're not selling everything and there's just net buyers, then prices will oscillate upwards, won't they? Like, assuming equal size and blah, blah, blah. And you oscillate between being, oh shit, everything's going to zero, oh my god, it's going to infinity, let's buy, and never sell. And the market is quite correlated in terms of if Bitcoin starts running, most alts run with it, right? So there's hardly ever a time where like Bitcoin starts running, and unless it's like a 10k on-chain shitter that just stays flat or just sells off, or there's like a unique event like when BERT went from, what was it? There was like a clip up here, wasn't there, or something that it was in this candle, I think. It was the day it went like, it was this, yeah. Like, look at that fucking rush. Nice 81% drawdown in a couple of hours. And then run it back 400% in a few days. Mental. But yeah, I do agree with you that there is too much dilution, but there's always a bull market in a corner of crypto, even during like proper bear markets, right? There's usually, because people want to be bullish. Fundamentally, they want assets to appreciate. It's why it's kind of harder to short than it is to long, psychologically. There's a load of bullshit stuff about that I read a few years ago, but yeah, fundamentally people want to be bullish because they want to think that they're investing and things are growing and things are going up and yada yada yada. Jova, yeah. Is there any top 20 coin with a decent alt BTC chart? I don't know, mate. I don't actually look at alt BTC charts very often. But yeah, let's jump back to Bitcoin because I kind of want to just finish my thought process on Bitcoin and just be like, well, this isn't a trade zone for me, right? I'm not interested in trading this. If we start like reclaiming like low time frame levels, maybe if you're sidelined and you've got 0 Bitcoin and you want some, that's where you kind of jump in and go for it. But to me, I think this is more like just a range, and I keep saying the same thing. And until I start seeing some real fucking strength on Spaghetti, like low time frame rotations are just not out of the question, but it's just, I've got to sit on my hands and it's fucking boring and I hate it, right? I genuinely hate it. I'm impatient. As a kind of, I want to be taking trades to produce content so people can see it and so that the number in my bank goes up. But I have to be disciplined and I have to be logical about this and just go, these are not the most optimal conditions for me. And the market is weak, so trying to long rotations to the upside is not the play at this current point in time. It will be, I imagine, in a week, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, however long it fucking takes. It will almost certainly have a strong relief bounce. We had some really good days over the Christmas period, which unfortunately I couldn't trade because I was, doing things, living life, all that. But yeah, it's a couple of red days. I'm not too worried, is the TLDR of all that. But equally, and I actually had a really good thought process for ETH. I just cut the trade a little bit because I was greedy with execution and didn't kind of stick to my original plan. So it's just a bit of a weak start to the year, but good thought process, good setup, good general execution in terms of I manage my risk by taking a very small loss instead of the full thing, but failure to jump back in it was probably the kind of self-critical point. But this is a key kind of inflection point for me on ETH potentially. So looking at like any form of low time frame divergences down here, which we're starting to get. We're starting to get that change in momentum. It's what you want to see when you're running into this former range if we're going to have a relief bounce. And that relief bounce should cause a nice move in altcoins. We should start seeing this start to point up, and that could be a nice rotation, a bit of a confluence there in terms of ETH starting to form divergences, i.e. slowing down and potentially reversing a bit, even if it's just a decent rotation. Do you believe in Hippo? I believe there are hippos in the world, my friend, but I don't believe in the coin. Do you think it's the right time to buy alts in spot or expecting a bigger correction? It's a really difficult question to answer because a lot of it depends on ETH. And if you look at it on a sort of case by case basis, so let's look at Bonk, right? Because I think Bonk's one of those ones where I keep saying I want a spot bag, right? I want a big spot bag and I want to ride it. And we had this strong downtrend and a nice breakout, and now we've kind of just completely unwound that entire move. Looking at this, the next trade for me is literally like an under-over kind of reclaim of these highs, yeah? And this support back here. I don't want to just arbitrarily try and catch it before it hits the bottom of this range. This range here. I don't want to go for that. That's, in my experience, when they deviate the highs, they're more likely to go and deviate the lows first before they actually bounce, instead of, i.e. they'll do this instead of doing this. Yeah? So, I'd rather wait for that setup and look for something like that. There's a lot of temptation to just fire off into big dips because they're quote-unquote big dips and say, well, it's dropped 10%, so that must be the bottom. And my attitude's always, I want to turn up to the right party, and I would rather turn up late to it. I'd rather turn up late to the right party than arrive early at the wrong one, is the expression. And for me, when you're buying into candles like that, it's the same reason that, on the inverse kind of side, I wouldn't be buying into this, or even shorting into it, right? I want to wait for it to start going the other way. So, if you, what have I done? I've inverted, haven't I? Let's go back to the ETH trade. So, if I'm sitting here now, writing to myself and putting my journal thoughts down and going to this, right? This exact same, I got stopped at the exact same Bitcoin short, by the way, at 108k or whatever it is. I posted it on Twitter, but it's literally it was there. I think it was 108.05 something maybe. Yeah, I can find the tweet, but I literally tweeted it. But technically, it got stopped, right? Because it was $100 or something like that too aggressive. So for me, the mistake was when I correctly identified that, you see this line here, right? This line here was my, if it closes above that line, and I'm obviously on, much lower time frame than when I'm executing than the hourly. So if it closes above, and I've obviously moved this because it was actually here-ish, or whatever. If it closes above this and essentially reclaims this range, then I'm out. And I closed it up here somewhere, so it wasn't perfect execution, but it saved me a fair bit. And literally, look at that. That's wild, isn't it? The mistake that I then made was, well, if my invalidation was a close above this, right, is bad for my trade, then surely the converse is true, which is a close below it, in terms of low time frame price action, is good for that thought process. And it's good for the potential next leg down, right? Because if you look at, interesting, the initial move covered me, nice, good exit, lovely. Actual support here from the same level, flying across pretty consistently, then acting as resistance. At what point? Why did I not kind of think to try the trade again? Because usually I'm quite good at that, right? I'll take the same trade several times. And obviously this is all really nice and easy to do with the benefit of hindsight. Well done, Charlie, blah, 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 blah. But, anyone in the group would say, I pulled these thoughts out at the start of the week, talked through the position, and yeah. now I'm kind of just eagerly watching this ETH chart, hoping that we get some form of break of this low time frame price action down here. And one would hope to the upside. One guy was wrong. Yeah. AI USDT seems pretty interesting. Yeah, I've actually seen quite a few rotations on AI USDT. And it's one of those things where it's like, in terms of relative strength, it's done pretty well. I don't know when the fuck we did that. But what a banger. Yeah, I look at even just flicking through this. It's like the only green on the day. Apart from ammo, which is like very, very low cap. Michael Jackson's coin, bad. What the fuck is that? Jesus Christ. It's going off the list, isn't it? Yeah, like literally the only really respectable green coin. Wild. Yeah, ETH-BTC really struggling for that level that we've talked about for a while now, the 0.34. It is wild to me that this thing isn't actually running. Is my RSI indicator standard or custom? It's pretty standard, to be honest. There's just a few things that it highlights and chucks a few lines on for you. It's not the same. The calculation methodology, etc., is still the same. So it's just basic. It just does a little bit for me because my eyes are old now, and the less I have to think, the better. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the market's looking just weak, right? And if anyone was short, if I was short from up here and I took the trade that I outlined, even though there wasn't a good signal, so I wouldn't have taken it with like full size, because I try and tier my setups based on how much confluence there is on the idea. You know, if I was short from here, up in this consolidation, I'd probably try and keep it open for a while. And the reason that I would do that is because when I did the short here at 72 something, so I shorted the market literally here. And you know, anyone who's followed me for a while will remember it because I tweeted it quite a few times because I'm an asshole like that. And the thought process was, you know, really, really simple. It's essentially an attempt above, deviation below, like, but there was, I think there was divergence in there on low time frame, so I just smashed it in and just a very simple thought process that if we can't reclaim the former highs, which were, you know, on momentum, like, it would be a really good hedge and cover if the market died and I had like big allocations to it, yada yada yada, and it would just keep me sane. And you know what? It kept me sane for all these months when everyone else was massively crybabying about how difficult the market was to trade. We ran a challenge account up like 2-3x, something like that. You know, we did a few things in here that everyone was like, oh, you know, it's fucking horrible. This is AIDS. Like the market started turning horrific because everyone was not making easy money, and I was there going, yeah, I'm pretty comfortably hedged. Didn't hedge ETH, so I lost a fair bit on that. You know, I lost money on some of my spot positions, don't get me wrong, but you know, I didn't lose half as much as 90% of people who either overtraded it or didn't hedge or yeah, just got fucked in general. Yeah, I like the little lines you have. Thanks, mate. OMUSDT. Yeah, OM's a painful one because I'm pretty sure I had a private sale allocation to this years ago at probably like 1 cent or something stupid. And I don't even know when I fucking cheated that, but I did. But I mean, it looks, I mean, in terms of like alts, right, it looks pretty fucking good, doesn't it? Let's be honest, even though it's probably like $100 bajillion now. It's just a simple range, like it's a very simple range play. There's nothing complicated about it. You decide whether you're aggressive and you buy range lows, or a reclaim, or you buy a breakout. It is literally nothing more complicated than that. And it's been a very, very strong contender. It's clearly got some wonderful market maker behind it that is just absolutely ripping it at certain points. You know, what's that, 2x in 3-4 days? You know, wild. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes again. And it's probably, I'm actually going to put that on my watch list because that's very kind of you to mention it to me again. Wow, this is scrolling very, very slow. This is like boomer scrolling. Come on, go a little bit faster, please. Be patient. Your call is important to us. Thank you for staying on the line. So yeah, I mean, it just needs to go up there, right? It needs to go on the list of shit potentially long when the market stops shitting the bed. Do you ever play in and out on spot? Or just hold certain coins and then trade around? When you say in and out, what do you mean? I mean, I have a stop, a hard stop, on every single spot position that I've got. Doesn't... Well, that's not technically true. I have some spot Bitcoin. I have lots of on-chain shitters, which obviously the stop is fucking zero, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to trade this 10%. If I'm buying like some on-chain stuff, there's a million market cap. I think it can go to 10 or 100 million, right? It's a big gamble. It's not a little one. They're making the files free, if that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you take an example where I put some money in an on-chain coin, if it goes 5x or 10x, depending on the thesis and how strong it is and how early I am and how blah blah blah, I will always take my initial out. And the reason is that I'm very risk averse, and sometimes I take more than my initial out, right? So I'll take like 110% out, 120% out, instead of just the classic 100%, i.e. I put 10 grand in, I'm taking 10 grand out, no, I'll probably take 11 or 12 out, just so I've made some money, and if I wake up the next day and it's gone to fucking zero, at least I've made something, right? And that helps me psychologically, massively. I don't know why, it's just me. It's one of those things that I have to play into, because I feel like I've got to win whatever the outcome is, yeah? So, it's one of those things that is personal to me, but it's obviously not necessarily the best in terms of if you own a large percentage of something and you're de-risking it quite early on, if you think it's going to go 1000x like that butthole coin or whatever it is the other day. I don't even know what that's at now, but I assume that it's shit the bed, pun intended. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Yeah, that was like 100k market cap or whatever, somewhere down here. And it just fucking ran. Like, crypto was genuinely wild. Whatever cabal launched this, if any of you know them, please get them to DM me. Yeah, that's genuinely mental. Yeah, what was my point? Yeah, I would say if you're selling it at like 5x, and then you see it's run like a metric fuck ton. Probably maybe not 900x, but you know what I mean. I think it's actually more like, yeah, so if you're selling it here, you're like, hey, got my money out, and then it carries on running. You've kind of done yourself in a little bit. Actually insane? Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to build some on-chain stuff. That doesn't mean launching my own coin. That means on-chain scanners. And this MLG, man. People showed the shit out of this to me, and I completely fucking ignored it. But yeah, there's some opportunities on-chain. And I think there always will be, because on-chain is like the quickest reflection of attention. And it's just more fun. A couple of $1,000 at a shitcoin, bosh. If it goes up, great. If it goes to zero, fuck it. Yeah. How would you position now in spot coins before Q2 to catch a few X's? Which areas of coins would you focus on? It's a really good question. I think that for me, it's far more difficult to position whilst one, Bitcoin looks like this, two, alts look like this, i.e. they're massively downtrending and there's no relative strength. Like, what I tend to do is I will play high time frame setups. If I was 100% sidelined, which I'm not, but I'm closer to that than 100% allocated, I would be looking at stuff like Bonk. Like, let's take Bonk, right? Because I think Bonk's a good example of it. I hate to go over, keep banging on about memes and stuff, because I personally don't think memes are dead. Now, the reason I don't think memes are dead is because I don't think the cycle's over, and I could be very wrong on that, right? Again, not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. But if memes, if the cycle isn't over, then logically we get another run up, and we get another leg up on Bitcoin. If we get another leg up on Bitcoin, that starts the whole conversation about everything being the future of finance again, right? So where do I want to be long on Bonk? Where do I want to buy a fresh spot position? How do I want to position myself in this garbage? Like, for me, it's really fucking simple. It's basically anywhere down here, right? That's literally it. And I would rather, like I explained earlier, if you've had the deviation, I kind of expect us to test the lows and then come back and reclaim, and that's it. Take a reclaim setup. Or if we do start getting, a strong relief bounce, and we start seeing some real strength in memes on spaghetti, yeah, I'll position into that. But the chances of that happening, I think, are pretty low. And not only the chance is pretty low, but realistically, like having a position here and then a stop massively under here just isn't the best place to take that position, in my opinion. Right? I would rather it have shown me some strength first than be longing into weakness. And that's just me, that's my approach, right? I like longing up here more than I like longing down here. In terms of general areas, I'm not sure that the whole AI trade is done and the AI agent piece is done, but it's definitely closer to the end than it is the beginning, right? That's at least my view. I think we've had a lot of coins that have ran, 50, 100x. Like, when you start getting that, and then every coin that's launching is focusing on that narrative, you know that it's getting towards the end of that particular secular narrative, right? What do I think about Sage and FXN? I think Sage is great, but it's so low volume at the moment. And it's so, like, people just keep selling it, and I don't really know why. Well, I do know why. It's because they haven't got a product out yet that you can actually test and play around with. And they haven't onboarded any influencers or done any real marketing or done anything like that. And it's just, it's still got sell taxes on. Like, we've got buy and sell tax on, which is fucking stupid. That whole meta of buy and sell tax, it was done a long, long time ago. So they really need to change that. But the product that they're actually building, I think, is good. I think they're too focused on the tech would be the criticism. And I think as soon as they start focusing on the product and all the stuff that it can do, and all the stuff that you can integrate multiple AI agents. So you can say, you write me the music, you write me a theme tune, you put together a series of my 5 best trades from Twitter. You do this, write the, like the tweet about it, make it engaging. You buy 10 ETHs worth of Sage to pump the price so it makes me look good for calling it. Like, you can literally do all that kind of stuff as like one big instruction, have them all work together and do all that kind of stuff. And that's why I bought into it, well, like way back at like 2 million market cap or wherever it was. Like, I've held this for a long time, so it's back here somewhere. So yeah, I am bullish on it, but it is a high risk, low cap, low volume coin, right? So take that with the pinch of salt that it's intended to be. But I've got no intention of selling this until it like really starts fucking breaking out and does something. Like, if it gets to like 20 mil, which is 20 cents, then I'll be taking my initial out. Unless we did top and just bag holding more dog shit that never goes. Yeah, if we did top, then I got it wrong. Right? I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. That is part of the game. And, my P&L will look something like this. Obviously it doesn't just go up only, but it'll go like that, and then it'll do this. Oh no, how will I survive? Yeah, so what? And even if Sage went to 0, it would do this. Oh no, how will I survive? So it's always better what you can afford to lose, right? Especially with low caps. Like 100% of my money in low caps is not gamble money, but it's just written off as soon as I've done it. Yeah. So I still really like memes as a rotation, as a high time frame rotation, but the time is not now, right? As soon as you start reclaiming levels, like Pepe here, like Bonk, which we've talked through several times, I think they're good. I think OM, which thank you for putting back on my radar, it's good. I think Popcat, I had an alert on Popcat, as you can see, which got pinged, and it's just pretty fucked. Lewin, hello sir, we are so back. We are back. We are back to streams. This is my first... I don't feel like I've seen you guys for a year. Because technically it was. There you go. There's a bit of British dad joke. That'll do, won't it? And this is the other thing that I wanted to talk about and point out to people. Is that this chart doesn't look particularly bearish. I saw a lot of people tweet like something like this. And be like, yeah, this is the retest, it's alt season, baby. And I think there was a similar view of it, like up here or some shit. Yeah, oh look. Alt season. Nah. Even though that is completely fucking different to that, but whatever. It was some variation of that, yeah? But to me, like this at this point in time, like, this is kind of like, what's it called, one of those, like, shitty meme triangles. This is kind of coiling up for a decision. And if I had to bet, because of spaghetti, you know, you've got you've got a lower high, and you've got a higher low. So you're kind of pushing into that kind of decision point. And I think Bitcoin dominance does this. I think Bitcoin dominance does that because relative strength isn't there. Right, you can see it in the candlesticks, and you can see it here on spaghetti, and that's what spaghetti is telling me constantly, that risk is off in terms of rotations. Right, risk is off. Even when Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin is usually the one that's carrying the market. As in, like look here, like there's very few altcoins that are above Bitcoin. Yes, it's a 1 minute chart. I completely get it, but in risk on conditions, you would expect a lot more coins up here than down there. So does that make sense? Do you understand why I'm a little bit flat in terms of trading, and why I'm a bit more Bitcoin focused, and I'm a little bit more cautious on alts? Does that make sense to people? Yeah, perfect sense. Good. And for me, the key to being successful over longer periods of time is thinking in a longer period of time mindset. Right? I don't need to make $100 million today. I don't need to. It would be nice. Don't get me wrong. I would love to wake up to $100 million in one of my wallets. And if any of you want to send me $100 million, I'll send you a wallet address. But that's not the goal of my trading. That's because you have $100 million today. I do not have $100 million today. I have all my money in pounds. Meh. But my point is that it's very easy to get tilted or, you know, downhearted by a single day in the market and things not necessarily playing out the way that you think they will, either on an intraday basis or even on like a high time frame basis, right? Like, I've been battered by ETH because I was aggressive with my stop. What am I going to do? Sit there and fucking cry about it? I mean, I've had a little moan about it, right? But it's also like, I like showing my losses. I don't know, there's something sadistic about me probably. But, you know, I always try to show people that it's not always amazing. And be a bit honest with it. That was a Charlie Kid evil laugh. Which one? I've been told I've got an evil laugh before. You wouldn't be the first person to tell me that, my friend. But yeah, there's so much, and like all I can see is high time frame ranges. Like even like Nier, which I thought, hey, this is breaking out and going again. Happy days. Let's kind of plot back in. Desync still pretty strong in terms of like the moves that we keep getting. Took the exact same trade and got stopped out. Did you? Sorry. Gave me a little bit of a Peter Griffin vibe. Look, man, I'm trying to lose weight, alright? Come on. Come on, don't at me like that. But yeah, there's not much that's green. And like I said, I like positioning. So let's just go over the other positions that I kind of want to. I do want a bag of fog because I think it's getting so decimated that it will become a good buy at some point, but it will most likely be a kind of pick it off the floor type thing, right? So if we assume that this is kind of demand, you would expect it to just cut into it at some point and then just start ripping, and then there's like my invalidation. Actually probably sweep it a little bit out. I can go under there, start building up through here, build the position up, and try and swing it above. Again, I don't think the cycle is done. You can think the cycle is done, absolutely fine. I would rather try a couple of high EV longs at some point in the meme space and in AI, probably, and any kind of new low cap areas. And yeah, play around with that. I tweeted the other day that I'm going to find 100x this year, and I am absolutely determined to do it. I was also talking to Doc and Magus about sort of trading in general and how I'm a very challenge motivated individual, so I kind of don't get much satisfaction from trading altcoins on a rotational basis anymore. Right? I've done that. I've been there. I got the t-shirt. Is it about the money? Of course it's about the money. The money is a good way of keeping score, right? But it's not really about the money. Like, it's about mastering something and getting good at something and learning, because learning is quite a rewarding task. So for me, I really need to like up my on-chain game, and I need to go back to being the fundamental god that I was in 2018 when I was chucking a Bitcoin in every dogshit thing in Trade Ogre, and then waking up the next day with like 5 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin worth of it. Yeah, those were the days. This was the other thing that I wanted to point out as well. This is one of my favorite setups. In general. And I haven't looked at the Solid chart. You can have one of my seed phrases, mate. That'll be nothing, innit? But yeah, I wanted to point this out because this is usually one of my favorite setups in terms of big rounded base, a classic cup and handle type pattern, which, it's a meme, but whatever, it works. Cup and handle, blasts out, new all-time high, comes back, retests the former highs, and chops around for a bit, and then starts going. And that kind of gives me vibes of everyone's thinking ETH's just going to rip, right? But I kind of feel that, like, what if it's Sol? What if Sol just goes again? What if we get another Sol cycle? Especially with, like, some Sol memes that have been picking up, right? So I'm looking to really rebuild a bigger position in Sol if we can start getting some strength and start holding above this 198 level, yeah? And the thought process behind that is that Sol ETH is, that setup on Sol ETH. So what I'm always looking for in my setups and my thought process is confluence of ideas. Like when Bitcoin was pushing into resistance, ETH had the divergence. It adds to that whole picture of, well, if Bitcoin dumps, ETH is going to dump. If Bitcoin breaks out, ETH will probably invalidate the divergence. But then if Bitcoin comes back in, you've probably got that same divergence play playing out just a little bit later, right? So there's all these things that are adding up to, is it a good place to take X trade? And it looks like Sol ETH, after this kind of dump on the this rotation, up to sorry the 17th of December, it's actually been quite good. AVAX. It would help if I could spell it, I suppose. The thing that I'm not, like, I get that that's not bad, right? The big problem I've got with it is it kind of looks like ETH BTC, where it's like massive downtrend and then a little bit of a bump. And I don't really know what the narrative is for AVAX to massively outperform Sol. I just don't see it myself. But I think we had the like rotation into different chains probably back here and to a lesser extent here, right? Where everyone was kind of going, well, we've had a good run on Sol, but actually AVAX does the same thing, so let's go on AVAX. And we did some stuff on AVAX, like I'm trying to think what it was. There was a chat thing on there, wasn't it? I've probably actually still got it on my phone, bizarrely. I think I do. Let's have a peep. Because it's going to annoy me otherwise. No, maybe I deleted it. No. Got my wine app. All these bloody parking apps. Yeah, no, I must have deleted it. But there was something on AVAX. What's up with MPC? I mean, it's like any meme, mate. Like, this is the thing. It's like, we are looking for oscillations and risk on and risk off. Yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to time that. We're trying to time that well. And it's been... It's been a while since... Oh look, it's just a meme. Are we risk on? Like, risk on, risk off. How long this lasts for, whether we just bottom and go to zero slowly and die and everyone forgets about crypto, who knows? I don't care. Like, if it goes to literal zero, like, doesn't affect me, but if it goes to, a tiny amount, and people still think it's a good meme, then it'll run back at some point. And, yeah. This is why I always said it's easier to sell into strength than to be forced to sell into weakness, right? But a lot of this stuff, I don't know, man. It looks close to bottoming on the basis of you've got no divergence there, but you've got divergence on the Awesome Oscillator, right? So you've got some things saying that it should have a bit of reversion here. All things being equal, unless Team are literally dumping the shit out of it. But I would hope for / expect a bit of reversion soon. A bit of relief. But obviously if Bitcoin just dumps and goes minus whatever to sub 90k, then probably the rest of the market's pretty fucked. Especially altcoins. Latest data says AVAX, second biggest chain at the moment for launched AI agents. That's interesting. What do you think will happen to alts if Bitcoin does a correction? They will get absolutely fucking wrecked, mate. Absolutely fucking wrecked. Like, beyond belief. Like, that's the thing. And that's why I'm being so cautious. Because Bitcoin's been on this trajectory, and then it started to pull back, range, and usually in super bullish conditions, ranging for alts would mean they all go like this. Right? But they haven't, and they didn't. And during this, not many alts outperformed Bitcoin. So even when Bitcoin was strong, alts didn't outperform it massively. A few did, obviously, and a few on-chain things when a few crime scenes were created, but so you're kind of faced with this position of Bitcoin goes up, alts don't really do a lot, kind of a little bit up. Bitcoin goes sideways, again, alts don't really do too much. Bitcoin goes down, alts get fucking obliterated, as we saw today. So based on these three outcomes and the probability associated with each of these, i.e. I think it's more likely that we do this or this over this at this point in time because we've got the low or high, we're back in the range, blah blah blah. Why would I play altcoins at all? Catching us some small low time frame rotations? Yep, absolutely. But until one of these things changes, i.e. the behavior of Bitcoin when it goes up and the alts being like stronger, or we range and alts actually show some signs of being properly risk on, like we start seeing it in low time frame spaghetti, we start seeing it in rotations, we start seeing all of this start to flip up, yeah, and Bitcoin down here somewhere. There is just no point, in my opinion, in trying to do anything other than wait or trade Bitcoin in ETH. Sui is an interesting one there, right? So we'll have a look at Sui in a sec because that's this kind of anomaly is why I love spaghetti. Does that make sense? Is everyone with me so far? Is everyone with my thought process? It doesn't make for the best entertainment, right? It doesn't make for the best streaming, it doesn't make for the best content in the Paragon group, it doesn't make for, you know, the best tweets or anything like that, because I'd love to just be tweeting, well, I've taken these 10 trades, they've all worked out, life's incredible, I'm just printing money out of the sky every single minute of every single day, but that's you know, I'm going to save that for my TikTok account. Which I've created, by the way. You can follow me on TikTok. I'm going to do a few videos like that. Just made 10 grand before my morning shit. Follow me for more not financial advice. I will DM you there. Sidetrack for you. If you had a smaller wallet, what position would you position a spot or build the wallet up through smaller leverage plays, 2% risk and compound? Or if both, I would just split the wallet. Oh, TikTok, this must be the top. So, well, this is a really interesting setup on Sui, so let me just finish this thought process. So, if we actually do start getting some risk back on and we start seeing some bids, like, not particularly great, not yet anyway, that little behavioural modification on Sui, that there, is really interesting. So, I would put Sui quite high on my watch list for potential next leg up, particularly with the fact that on a daily basis, you know, this is the retest of that former consolidation range. So there's a high time frame reason for it to bounce, right? And this is why I love spaghetti, right? Because hopefully this has just given us like a decent trade idea. So we already had like the channels marked up. It's pretty fucking obvious even if you deleted it, right? Even if you deleted all that shit, it's going up and to the right. Yeah, it's been pretty in play. It's been strong for months now. I'm so glad I turned down an offer to buy a fuck ton of it at 50 cents because I'm apparently retarded and don't like free money. That kind of strength, whilst everything else is dying, usually leads to a very good rotation if you can time it right. Again, not financial advice. If you're trading it, trade it with small size, yada yada yada. Don't blow yourself up, no refunds. Or DM Magus for refunds, actually. But this kind of thing, you know, in a high time frame kind of thought process, you'd go for something like this. But, you know, I'd just be looking for rotations. And I would just be looking for something like, even now it actually looks quite good, knowing that that's very high time frame support here, that has supported it consistently. But yeah, that's a nice rotation. Again, I'll leave that on there for like engagement bait if it works out. And I'll go long it with $1 size on Bybit, so I can post a P&L card. But yeah, as long as that relative strength there stays, that trade is valid. AI and MMNT consistently strong. Yeah, they are. How'd you get? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. People said Happy New Year's earlier, which really annoyed me. And I thought the reason that I'm annoyed by the premise of Happy New Year's is I'm not sure that I will actually get another year. It's not guaranteed, is it? There's Spaghetti. There's 92 of you watching, right? And there's 24 likes, apparently. Can I kindly ask you to like the stream? If there was a love button, I'd ask you to press the love button, obviously. Oh, we're at 475 subscribers. Excellent. I can tell my mother that I'm nearly at 5k. Grundle tickle. Yeah, thanks guys. But yeah, that looks pretty tasty, and that's what I'm always looking for. Some form of relative strength. Arc. What's Arc? We're buying Agent S and Sui, boys. This tune's a banger, actually. Ah, there we go, 41 likes. Cheers, legends. Absolutely not being rude. Is it this arc that you're on about? This Genesis remix is hilarious. Yeah. Charlie's making sounds. Yeah, apologies. I'm starting to really jam. But yeah, I mean, look at it all. Bitcoin, the least shit coin. And storage, because it's probably broken, because it's 0. I need to change something in there. Something's obviously got delisted. There we go. But do you see what I mean? Like, we just found like a few percent on, or like 8% on Sui, which I'm not bragging about 1%. But it's a really good live example of why I think Spaghetti is the GOAT. I liked it more before the usual Coles started hyping. Have a look at Agency. Oh god, I've really like not paid attention to the AI meta, and it has been my downfall really, because I used to love jumping into new shiny shit. I was talking actually in the Paragon group and the stream I did on Saturday, the kind of emergency stream, not emergency stream, it's a catch-up stream. The I used to have a new shiny shit part of my portfolio, which was kind of just a gamble fund really. But when the NFT season started, my new shiny shit went from like 1% of my portfolio to like 25, even like 35% within a few weeks. So, you know, it was definitely worth having a new shiny shit fund, for lack of a better description. Yeah, I mean, up only. Reasonable amount of volume, nice structure, you know, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's kind of a brand new chart, and it's just literally gone from level to level with mateys. And as much as that's a fucking meme that people always take the piss out of, it's like, well, I think it works pretty well, to be honest, but whatever. Maybe I'm a level to level with mateys. What's the other new shiny shit? There's the penguin thing, isn't there? Saw this earlier. Someone else posted a chart about it, and I was like, do you know what? After launch day, it really went off my radar. I think, like, I'm not saying it's an easy chart to trade, because it's absolutely not, right? But yeah, looking at it now, being with the absolute benefit of hindsight, it is one of those where I should probably add it to Spaghetti and see if it's got some relative strength. Because we've had a lot of meme runs, right? And if I'm still bullish on memes, because I'm still bullish on the market, yada yada yada, then it makes sense that Pengu should be on the list somewhere. Again, wait for confirmation with relative strength to see if it actually, you know, let's just add it now, because otherwise I'll forget, because I'm old. Yeah, we'll add it in, and if it starts showing some relative strength, we can buy some or jump in. But yeah, I kind of forgot about it, and that's always a misplay to forget about new shiny shit. Ina Loose got to go. Thanks for the stream, Monster Charlie. Thank you, little Frank. My thoughts about Ionet. Mate, there's so many dogshit coins these days. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm so like boomer. What am I on? Billionaire? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What's Ionet, mate? Loose? You take a look. I haven't taken a look at Seaball, but I've still got a bag of Seaball somewhere. Oh, it's because I'm doing compare because I'm a twat. Is it over, Charlie? Could be. I don't think it is. So it looks like it's going to your 198 level soon, do you think? Yeah, hopefully. And this is the thing, it's like a lot of people see all this as, oh, it's over, it's dead. It's like, well, if it is, I'm sure we'll have another cycle at some point, and prepare for it. Again, Ina looks pretty decent. We talked about Ina before. It just looks like it's coming back and testing this level. Like, and it's been pretty high relative strength. Sui going. AI Ina. Good. Yeah. Pretty strong. AI rig complex, yeah. Still gobsmacked memes AI, isn't it 500 million? What is, like, I don't even know most of this shit, man. Like, genuinely. 43 mil pump fund shitter? Lovely. Wild. At least it wasn't launched yesterday, right? No loose? Oh, sorry, mate. I completely ignored your question. $4 million volume? Jesus, they must have sort of decent, like, couple of trading bots. 7 million market cap. Looks like. I mean, if it ran to 100 million after, like, a couple of days. What the fuck is that? Official mascot of Holy Yi? Not bad, not bad. Bought none, bought none. Lovely. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing. If people are like, let's say that you're super bullish on this, right, for whatever reason. I'm not, I don't fucking know it. But, like, it's died massively. And now it's consolidating. Like, it's similar to Bert, right? Dying, consolidating in a range. All you need is a little bit of momentum, and then the whole sentiment just starts changing, right? And again, this isn't an endorsement for this coin. I own none of it, blah, blah, blah. I've never even fucking heard of it before someone asked for it. Like, this is where you want to start thinking about buying some of the dead shit if you really think it can run again, right? I don't know, people have the mindset of it's all going to zero down here, when I'm not saying it's closer to zero than, you know, the all-time highs or whatever. It's, you know, minus 100% plus whatever that is, 10x. But still, like, I want to be thinking about things in terms of where do I want to be a buyer. Chance to take the lows at 81 on Ina. I mean, if you take the lows on Ina, then your whole bull thesis is kind of a bit fucked, isn't it? Because you can play a reclaim here, but it doesn't look as strong, right? Because you're kind of still in that parabola up here. You're still in that trend up. Whereas if you do something like this, it kind of breaks that, and then that looks a bit more distributive. You got a question on Spaghetti, far away? Like, look for daily strength, or between the same hours of the day, low time for rotations. So, I don't want to go into too much on Spaghetti, because there's so much, like, there's so much nuance about it, and I've got loads of videos in the Paragon group if you're really interested in Spaghetti, but it's a combination of all of it, right? The most important thing is... I'll leave that, but it's... Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it. And in all truth, I use every time frame to an extent. You have crash course how to find these shitcoins. You wait. You build a big following. You get to quote unquote influencer status, and then they just DM you and say, "Do you want 1% of the supply?" That's how it works, mate. That's how you find them early. No, I'm joking. There's loads of different ways. You can either track wallets. So one of my friends is very good at tracking what he calls smart wallets, and they are probably Cabal wallets in the sense of they are the ones launching the coins, but then they ape really early with like $100, $500, $1,000, small size, and then they just instantly bundle the supply, send it up to a couple of 100 million or whatever. Like, I mean, look at this, right? I don't know what this is, and I'm probably picking on this completely unfairly, but I'll fucking say it anyway because I don't care. So this, running. So it's days, all right. I was gonna say what you normally get is in the first 10 minutes or something, or first minute or two, it just runs up like massively. Like it's 90 million after a couple of days. Now, to be fair, this was a pretty risk-on period, so maybe it wasn't like I'm being completely unfair, but you can get projects that just like instantly go to 100 million, and then they just look like that basically. They fucking instantly sell off, and then they go to zero. And this one actually didn't, and whatever, it did well. I've got no idea what this project specifically is, but that's what tends to happen with that kind of stuff. With those kind of launches, you can usually track them, and that's what one of my friends does, like literally for a living. Massive difference on AI pump between the Sol pairs, 0.66 versus 0.29. Jesus Christ, that's wild. I mean, if you can just bridge it across to Sol, there's a fucking huge free arb there, surely. I don't think you can you? Seapool. Do I want to talk about Seapool? Not really, but I will. I tweeted about it a long time ago. It's not even on my watch list anymore, look at that. Yeah, I mean that looks like shit, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Classic, parabola, lower high, big sell-off, lost range. I would be selling it and buying on a reclaim, and just forfeiting this for the sakes of that. It's a shame because it's a genuinely good project. But it does make me want to find my stack and tank it. Is your friend using a tool? Yeah, he uses a load of stuff, mate. I couldn't even tell you what he uses. Are people still a thing? Yeah, people's still worth something. It's not worth nothing. Do you know what I mean? Memes file look like a juicy buy, but holders at top was too much %. Yeah, that's one of the things is like, you're going to be someone's exit liquidity at some point. Particularly on memes where like the top 20 wallets own like 50% of the supply or something. It's ridiculous. You look at like Murad's wallets and stuff, like a load of them are just, they own so much supply. It's genuinely wild. I've looked at IronNet. There isn't an IronNet, mate. What are you on about? Are you winding me up? Or was I putting in the wrong thing? Like, there's nothing. There's Billionet. We checking out Billionet? No? Okay, yeah, I don't know, mate. It's not showing up on anything, so... And if you give me a link, I'll ban you. I'm joking. But yeah, it makes me pretty sad going from that chart that we just looked at on Seapool to to Bitcoin. I mean, it's just dying, isn't it? Again, shorts above 100k are just eating. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm not interested in trading this here. I'm looking at like Sui and stuff for low time frame rotation. Like, you know, it's doing something wild at the moment. So we've got the $1,000 trade or whatever. Not particularly hopeful given that it's stalling after, you know, 1% or whatever the fuck that is. Not even that probably. What is it? 0.7%. It's like getting blood out of a fucking stone, isn't it, at the moment? Market's just heavy as shit. Mincoin is that? It's a Sui, mate. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's just relentlessly getting sold off. Wild. Yeah, boys, I think I'm gonna love it. Love you all. Leave you all there. I think I've explained my rationale. I think we just need to wait for a bit of risk on. We just need to chill for a little bit. You know, I'm not looking like I kind of missed the short, which I was playing for. I think we've got a couple of rotational ideas. We've got some decent plans heading into the week, and hopefully we get some, you know, movement on Sui to the upside. Hopefully we start getting a little bit of relief soon, probably when burgers close, and stop fucking lettuce handsing their bags. Yeah, time for bed. Trump promised Moon. Let's file a class action lawsuit. Let's go. I'm down for that. Take on Trump. Can we take Andrew Tate on as well while we're there, the new Prime Minister of the UK, supposedly? Actually took that Sui trade. Oh god, no refunds. But yeah, if it works out, you owe me $100,000. If it doesn't work out, have fun on the streets. 90 live and 51 likes so far, guys. That's very kind of you. But hopefully I've given you a good insight into my thought process, why I'm not as super active, why I'm focusing on building a few things, why I'm trying to just take higher EV trades, and maybe my next one I need to just have a little bit of a wider stop instead of being such a pussyhole with like the ETH short. I will love you and leave you all. I will be continuing to shitpost on Twitter. If you have enjoyed the stream, please drop a like or a subscription or whatever. Subscribe, that's the one, not a subscription. That's something very different. And I will stream again same time next week. And I will try and do a little bit of edu actually in this time. And I might do something on spaghetti. I might do something on... I don't know, what do you guys want to see? Maybe I'll do it that way. If I record some YouTube content, what would you guys want to see? And feel free to DM me like anytime with those kind of suggestions. I'm not going to go into obviously as much detail as I go into in the Paragon group, but I'll give, you know, I want to do some simple stuff. I want to grow my YouTube a bit is the honest answer. Because I might as well grow some stuff. On chain game, spaghetti. Okay, we'll keep going. And if you think of more ideas, let me know. Drop me a DM. My DMs are always open as long as you're not begging for money. How you choose entries? That's a good question. I'd probably do a short on that. This is what I mean. Like, if you've got specific questions, I could just bosh a very quick short together, 10, 20 seconds. This, bang, 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 and then people can just watch it. On-chain narrative rotations. Cool. All right. Your thoughts on process FA of shitters? Yeah. Can you make spaghetti right? Yeah, I've already got a video on that, mate. Genuinely check out like my YouTube, which is very cringe to say, but Yeah, it's on there somewhere. One of the old videos. Let me find it.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, that's my voice. Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, that's my voice. Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, I've just done it again. How's that happened? Shit. We're getting Charlieception. There you go. I would repeat your name, but I'm gonna butcher it. Sorry. You're a butt. Yeah, I've just been doxed as AI. Fuck. Cool. Alright, well, thanks all for being here. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate those asking questions in particular, because it's genuinely really helpful for me to respond to things and kind of create the content back. But I will love you and leave you, and I will see you next week. Au revoir.